Welcome once again to the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Weather Report, and as always, I'm your host, D-Ruck, aka the Weather Man. Today we're going to talk about the NFL free agency period. I'm going to forecast who I think are your winners and your losers, and of course, we'll touch a little bit on Peyton Manning. So without further ado, who do I think is a loser in the NFL free agency period up until this point? We'll start off with the Miami Dolphins. In the last 18 months or so, look on the people that they've missed. They missed out on Jim Harbaugh, who is now the head coach in San Francisco 49ers. They missed out on Matt Flynn, who is now presumably going to be the starter for the Seattle Seahawks at quarterback. They've missed out on Peyton Manning, who we'll dive into later, but who will be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. And they've missed out on Jeff Fisher, who will be the head coach out in St. Louis for the Rams. That's the only thing that they've won so far as this category as being my number one loser. All right, I'm going to throw some numbers at you, and that will further let you know why I think they're losers. Since 1984 draft, let's go back. Let's talk about the 83 draft. All right, that's the draft where you had Dan Marino, you had Jim Kelly. I mean, that was the draft that's known as the quarterback draft. All right, since that draft, only 3 teams in the NFL have neglected to draft a quarterback in the first round. All right, think about that. 1983, we're in 2012. Out of those years, only 3 teams. Kansas City Chiefs, their winning percentage in that time, 51%. Their main success came when they got Joe Montana through a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. All right, Miami Dolphins, 54%. They haven't had any success since Dan Marino left. All right, third team, New Orleans Saints, 51% winning percentage since that draft, and their main success has come since Drew Brees has signed down there and they won the Super Bowl. You all are familiar with that. The point I'm trying to make is this: in order for you to be a successful NFL franchise, you have to have a quarterback at the helm that makes you successful. All right, since Dan Marino has left, the Dolphins haven't had that, and then they are losers because they let Washington Redskins, who are one of my winners, jump ahead of them in the draft, and presumably are going to end up picking Robert Griffin III. You can't do that, right? If you're Miami, okay? You have to go get your franchise quarterback. And yeah, they missed out on Peyton. He wasn't the answer down there anyway. He knew it. That's why he didn't go down there, okay? Miami, you're losers. You got to do something. You got to make a splash. I know Tim Tebow might be available. Maybe you look at going for him. Just something to think about. Next losers, the San Diego Chargers. They've been losers for the last couple of years, for a lot of reasons, but they're losers right now for me because, one, they let their number one receiver go, Vincent Jackson. He'd gone down to Tampa Bay, and then they didn't get anybody to replace him at this point. They picked up a couple of receivers, but nobody with that skill set that Phillip Rivers can go to as his number one target outside of Antonio Gates. They also now have Peyton Manning in their division. They didn't win their division last year. Denver did, and Denver presumably has only gotten better if Peyton is what we think Peyton might be. All right, San Diego, you're right behind Miami, losers. My last loser is New Orleans Saints. Not necessarily because of their free agency. It's more because of that whole bounty program. You're going to get hit hard by Roger Goodell. I don't know what he's going to do, but look for some fines, look for some suspensions, look for some loss of draft picks. You're going to get hit hard. That makes you a loser. Not, like I said, not necessarily for anything that was done during free agency. Remember, they kept Drew Brees, and they got Marcus Colston re-signed. Good things, but this bounty program is going to overshadow that for the entire season. I can also talk about the teams that lost out on the Peyton Manning sweepstakes as being losers, but I'm not going to count them in there, and I'll tell you why. A lot of teams look to upgrade their rosters throughout the offseason. That's what you're supposed to do as an NFL front office, okay? They didn't win. Not everybody can sign Peyton. He can only play for one team, all right? So those other quarterbacks who, have their feelings hurt, your Alex Smith, your, Matt Hasselbeck, your Kevin Cobbs, your Tim Tebow, get over it. The NFL is not personal. It's a business, okay? The front office is supposed to do that, all right? If they needed another wide receiver, you wouldn't have had a problem with them going out and cutting your current wide receiver and signing, Vincent Jackson, or somebody of that caliber. But now because it was you, your feelings are hurt. No, you're going to get over it. You're going to sign a contract because you get paid millions of dollars to play a game. Suck it up. You'll be fine. All right. My winners, quickly. Washington Redskins, like I said, they traded a lot to get RG3. That's who presumably they're going to pick. However, nothing is expensive enough when you're talking about drafting a quarterback. The price is never too high when you're drafting a franchise quarterback. They're going to get one. Now they got to surround him with talent. My next winner, Denver, of course, Peyton Manning. All right, they got to surround him with more talent. That defense is not good enough to be a Super Bowl defense at this point. They feel good about the receiving group. At least Peyton Manning obviously does. I think they still need to add some more, and we'll touch on why I think that was a bad move here shortly for Peyton. Seattle winners. They got Matt Flynn, their quarterback, who they think is going to be their quarterback of the future. Didn't cost them a lot of money. 2 years. It was a 3-year deal, but in 2 years they'll revisit the deal, either cut him or pay him. Good deal for both parties involved. I'm going to give an incomplete to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to tell you why. They signed Randy Moss. I don't know how he's going to be. That remains to be seen. But, if he's 75% of the Randy Moss of old instead of an old Randy Moss, they'll be fine. They got a steal. Mario Manningham is in the fold. That's a good pickup for them. The 49ers were missing weapons. Obviously on the outside, they got 2. They also are returning all 11 starters on defense. The reason why they're getting incomplete is because they currently have no quarterback to throw to Randy Moss or Mario Manningham or Vernon Davis or Michael Crabtree. That could be an issue. You might want to go out there and get a quarterback. I heard Alex Smith is still available. Go figure. Now, back to Peyton real quick before we conclude this session of the Weather Report. I'm going to tell you why I think that it was good and bad move for him. I think it was good because he's going to have full control over that offense in Denver. John Fox is a defensive head coach. He'll let Peyton run the offense the way he sees fit. That's good for Peyton. Also, if he goes 11-5 there and they go to the playoffs for 2 or 3 years, he'll be looked upon as a hero there because they haven't had much success since John Elway retired. In San Francisco, it would have been Super Bowl or bust. There's not that pressure in Denver. Good move for him. Here's why it was a bad move. Next year, their schedule includes New England, Houston, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, and Baltimore. All those teams make the playoffs, all right? In total, they have 7 playoff teams on their schedule for next year. That's a tough schedule for a first-year quarterback coming in who will have to learn, all new players, a whole new roster, a whole new system. I don't like the move. I don't see them making the Super Bowl. Playoffs, yes, because that division is very winnable because San Diego and North Turner are underachievers and will be that until North Turner is fired. But Super Bowl, I don't see it. Too much to overcome in the AFC. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? I just give you the forecast. But that's it for today. That's all I got for you. Tune in next time. I'm sure we're going to, dive into the world of sports some more. Thank you for viewing. I appreciate your time, and I'm out.